All right. So, Angela, tell us.
Now we have to work out how I can get on the set, right?
Okay, and then I can redirect you. I can take control. We need some sturdy seats by the looks of it. So tell us, how were you introduced to what we do in the Savvy team, and what was going on for you initially?
It was living next door to Alice, as the song goes.
All right, so okay, just as the song goes, living next door to Alice. Excellent. So you heard from Alice here, and Alice was the one that introduced you to what we do. And so what was happening for you?
Well, I've got 3 daughters, and at the time I was rather tearing my hair out, to be honest. Okay. I had 2 with relatively significant issues. One had very, very low white blood cell count.
Right.
And the doctor said, oh, well, that's life. Not much we can do for you.
Okay. So to get that straight, medically, there wasn't anything for this particular condition. It was just they didn't have any suggestions for you. So you were pulling your hair out, wondering what to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Yep. Not great, but thank you for sharing.
This is where
that's the story. Yep.
This meant, of course, just to clarify, low white blood cell count. That's your whole immune system. So she was constantly sick. Ear infections, colds, coughs, vomiting, you name it, she had it. Yep. If there was a room of 1,000 people, she would be the one that would get sick.
Yeah.
So, when you've got a child that's constantly ill, it just becomes an issue. And antibiotics. I didn't quite realise the damage
had they sort of indicated that there was a reason for her immune dysfunction, where they didn't blame it on genetics or anything else? They just said, there's an immune dysfunction here, low white blood cell count, sorry,
we don't know
do the best
why.
You can do. Okay.
Yeah, no explanation.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
So there was that.
Yep. And then one of my other daughters has an unusual kind of a learning disability.
Right.
Where spatially she doesn't sort of have an idea of where she is in space, and she has an audio processing type issue.
Right.
And the prognosis wasn't that great, to be honest. They said she wouldn't learn like other children, she wouldn't fit in socially. Her school life was going to be very challenging for her.
Okay. So this is you as a mum wondering what to do. You were perfectly healthy and able to deal with the stresses of your children, of course?
I thought I was perfect.
Okay, all right. So common story. You thought you were doing pretty well, and it's just my kids that I've got challenges with. But what was going on?
For me, I had hormonal issues. I had endometriosis.
Right.
Very, very painful, and battling with 3 children with it, not easy.
Okay.
Bleeding gums.
So did you think some of these things were normal? Had you said that you felt like you were healthy and everything, had you got used to the concept of bleeding gums and endometriosis and any of these issues? They were just what you had to deal with?
I know it sounds ridiculous, but I actually thought I just had to suck it up.
Right. Yeah.
This was life.
Is that what you were told by the doctors as well, that suck it up?
No,
not so many words?
They had some other great ideas for me, the contraceptive pill.
Right.
Something that would stop my period altogether. I can't remember what that option was called.
Right. Yep.
Ultimately, hysterectomy could have been popped on the table. Yep. So there were some options there, but none of them sounded very appealing to me.
So what happened? What was it that you were introduced to from your next door neighbour Alice? What I guess we've got a lot of things that we teach in the Savvy team. 3 basic things that the guys here heard about. You've got to lower the toxicity that you're exposed to. You've got to increase nutrition, and the next thing, if there was another thing, is to make sure the body's detox pathways are functioning. So obviously you would have heard about that, but what actions did you take and what happened?
Well, at this point, I was really prepared to take on board what Alice had to say, because I was really looking for something. So we changed all our personal care.
Right.
So it seemed silly to me at the time, but I thought, okay, change the toothpaste, change what we're washing with.
Yep.
The hair.
So you'd heard about that whole concept of chemicals, and Alice probably drummed that into you.
Absolutely.
About we've got to, initially you thought, is this really what I need to do?
Yep.
But you did it anyway.
But I did it anyway. And later came the home care as well, the laundry.
Great.
And all that sort of side of it too. And then we got stuck into some core products.
Core nutritional stuff.
So colloidal minerals.
Yep.
was a good base for both of those girls.
Yep.
Krill,
Okay.
a Chinese herbal that addressed brain function
Right. Yep.
for the one with learning difficulties, the kids' chewable multivitamin. Those were the key sort of things that we did.
So it sounds like initially your focus was obviously on the kids and dealing with what they were suffering through, because as a mum you want to do the best you can. You did the bath. Did you see anything? You did everything together, so you didn't really see any difference just from getting rid of the chemical issue, did you?
No, I mean there were some issues with changing the personal care things we could see.
Right.
For example, their hair loss stopped.
Okay.
So we stopped having to clean the shower thing out.
So that was an indication that something had changed, and that, a lot of people with hair loss don't think about the fact that it's what they're putting on their body that's triggering this, and it's not even just what's going on the scalp. Sometimes it's what you're absorbing, through other means that can also trigger hair loss. So that's an interesting point there too. But so you noticed a few little things like that, but you were looking for the big, groundbreaking things, really looking for some major.
Which happened for sure.
How quickly? How quickly did that take?
It probably took a good 6 months. So the daughter with the low white blood cell count, she hasn't been ill for about 4 years.
So let's clarify that. So she was on things like trace element supplements, so plant-based trace element supplement we talk about. So kids chewable basic multivitamin. Also, was she on anything in particular? So she was on a krill product for the essential fatty acids.
Yes.
Was she on anything specifically immune boosting, or?
So there was a probiotic.
She was on probiotic as well?
That mix as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
That was it for her? Nothing specific for the immune system?
Also a Chinese herbal to look at. I'm just trying to think. One of the things that the Chinese herbal addressed, I think, was white blood cell count.
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess the thing that I'm wanting everybody to sort of hear is that sometimes when we deal with all of those underlying issues, we sort of think we're brought up to believe that we've got to go for the specific thing that will take care of the white blood cell problem, and something totally different that will take care of the learning difficulties. But sometimes it's the same common underlying issue that we've all got to deal with, that then helps the body to function and our problems go away. And it's great to have some specifics, like you said, okay, well, how do I optimize performance for immune function? How do I optimize for brain function? So, and it worked.
It worked.
So what are we dealing with now as far as your daughter? That with the immune problems?
The one with the immune issues, or previous immune issues, she has had 0 days off school for at least the last 3 years.
Okay.
She doesn't even get the sniffles. So her friends who have supposedly ordinary levels of blood cell counts actually have more time off than she does.
Wow.
And she has a very hectic sort of sporty kind of schedule.
Yep, that's right.
The one with the learning difficulties is now performing very well at school. She's a good solid average. She's socially very, very comfortable, very, very happy.
And that was one of the main things, wasn't it? It was the spatial awareness and social integration.
Yes.
Was it that affecting the learning, or was there also just a learning issue as well there? Was it like 3 issues?
Yes,
spatial,
unfortunately,
behavioural, and
she was
everything.
given a nice little basket of goodies. So spatial and auditory processing issues too. So
and so you've noticed a difference in her schooling. Obviously, you said that she's a good average student. They didn't expect her to,
they didn't even expect her to read and write.
So let's put this into perspective. A good average. So as a mum, a lot of people say, oh, well, so what, she got average and everything. But this is, they did not expect her to read and write. No. And now she's performing at a good average level.
Yes.
By taking care of some toxicity, mineral supplementation, and just something with herbs to optimise brain and nervous system function.
Absolutely. And she's a singer and dancer in her spare time too, and has to learn routines and lyrics.
And remember them all.
And
so anyone here had to remember lyrics, or how do you go with your songs? Or do you just mouth it and hope for the best and everything?
Absolutely. So
Fantastic.
And
Wow.
she used to get croup too. So, as I say, I could occupy the whole night, but
Just talking about all the improvements with your kids and everything,
Yeah.
and that's outstanding because, you know, we often hear talk about I get rid of my, and we'll probably hear that, I shouldn't preempt that, get rid of my bleeding gums and my dry skin and all that sort of thing. But here are two, you know, you were not given a good prognosis. So in essence, you decided to take matters into your own hands and do something to help your children. I think one of the problems that we experience, I guess, in trying to have people understand what they can do is that we, if there is a process, a medical path, we often take that first and then fall back on the sort of things that you did. That's what a lot of people seem to do in what I've seen. But in a way, it was sort of somewhat of a blessing that they said there's nothing that we can do, you know, from a medication point of view,
Absolutely.
that you could tackle those underlying issues and deal with that first. And in a lot of countries around the world, they actually deal with nutrition first try the nutrition first before medication, especially for behavioural problems. But unfortunately here, medication is usually the first port of call. So, well, that's the kids. Did anything happen for Angela?
Oh, well, Angela was last because I'm a mum. And every mum here knows what it's like
Yep.
to do that. So, as I say, I thought I was pretty healthy.
Yep.
I'd had my gallbladder removed when I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So I had irritable bowel issues and gut issues, endometriosis, bleeding gums, sleep deprivation, you know. But I was good other than that.
And so the Angela 2.0, the enhanced version, what's happened to those conditions?
Gut issues tremendously improved.
Yep.
Endometriosis, what is that? I really don't even know that I've got my monthly cycle.
So let's just clarify that too. So you had said before that for example, a hysterectomy was on the cards.
Yes.
But
Put
so
on
in
the
other
table.
words, everything is still in order, shall we say?
Yes, all the bits are there.
And now you're experiencing a normal period.
Yep.
And you're not having the pain.
No.
No other symptoms of endometriosis showing up.
No.
And all you've really done too is get rid of the chemicals, which is a big issue for hormonal balance,
Absolutely.
incidentally.
Yes.
Deal with the minerals and vitamins and antioxidants and the 90
Hormone
nutrients.
balancing cream.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So you're using
Was a
things
big
like
one.
okay.
Yeah.
So that's for example the cream that's got the essential oils and wild yam and everything. But the essential oils are very powerful for balancing the hormones. A lot of evidence around that. So that's what you used, and all sorted out.
All sorted out.
Wow. So is there anything else that we need to know about what's happened for you and your family then that you'd really like to express to everyone listening in?
Oh, well, as I say, I could spend all night talking about the different stories and even with extended family and that, but I won't. But believe me when I say that it is as simple as getting rid of toxins and
Yep.
putting nutrition in place.
Yep.
So I know sometimes people think, really? Is it as easy as that? It really is as easy as that. You'll see the benefits, just stick with it.
So do that, stick with it.
Yeah.
Incidentally too, you followed one of our weight management
Oh, yes.
protocols and
Oh,
lost
that's
some
right.
weight.
17 kilos lighter than I was.
17 kilos. So in other words, everybody here, they've just got to really take on board that information that we teach, put it into practice like you've done, and they could see their own health improvement based on what you've seen for you. All right, everybody, give Angela a round of applause. She's been wonderful. Thank you, Angela.